One afternoon in a storage unit, I broke down on the concrete floor. I'm Harold James, 81 years old. I chased success my whole life, and I'm still trying to understand what I was chasing. I grew up in a small Indiana town where the factories ran all night. My dad worked swing shift at a tool shop. He wasn't cruel, he was just worn out. When he came home, he'd wash his hands at the kitchen sink, then sit at the table in silence. When I was 14, I asked my father why he never smiled. He looked at me like the question didn't fit. Then he said, "Smiling doesn't pay for shoes." I carried that sentence for decades. I decided I'd be the kind of man who never had to think about shoes. So I studied and worked and stayed out of trouble. I didn't do it because I loved school. I did it because I was scared of being stuck. I got a scholarship, left for college with a used suitcase, and tried to outrun the life I came from. I met my wife, Carol, at a church picnic. She laughed easy, like it cost nothing. We got married young. For a little while, I thought love and hard work would cover everything. Then I took a sales job, and the chasing started. I learned how to talk fast, smile on command, and pretend I wasn't nervous. I was good at closing deals. Promotions came. So did the travel. Carol had our first baby while I was out of town. I heard my daughter's first cry through a phone line in a hotel hallway. I remember smiling, then walking into a meeting like nothing happened. I told myself I was doing it for them. I missed a lot. A school play, a season of softball, little nights at the dinner table that I can't get back. I'd come home with gifts like a toy could stand in for a dad. Carol would take the gift and set it down without much expression. I started thinking that quiet meant everything was fine. Our son came later. He was a calm kid, the kind who watches more than he talks. I didn't know how to reach calm. I asked about grades and chores. I didn't ask what he felt because I didn't ask myself that either. By 40, I had a job with a title people respected and hours nobody wanted. We bought a bigger house. I felt proud, and I felt tired, but I called it building. I remember one Sunday morning, my daughter in her church dress, my son still small enough to sit on my shoulders. Carol was making eggs. My phone rang, and I stepped out onto the porch to take the call. When I came back in, the eggs were cold, and everybody had gotten quiet. Nobody yelled. That was the worst part. They just adjusted to me being half there, like it was weather. My father died when I was 46. Heart trouble, they said. I flew in for the funeral, stood by the grave, and flew out the next morning for a work dinner. I remember looking at the dirt and feeling mostly numb. That scared me, so I turned it into anger. I told myself he made me hungry. Carol and I stayed married, but we got thin in places you can't see. We argued about my phone at the table and me listening with half an ear. I'd promised to slow down, then work would pull and I'd run again. In my late 60s, Carol got cancer. I sat with her in waiting rooms, holding her hand while pretending I wasn't terrified. Her last week, Carol asked me to sit with her without talking. No planning, no fixing, just sit. I did. It felt strange, like standing still on purpose, until she squeezed my hand. She died on a rainy Tuesday, and afterward I kept working because I didn't know what else to do with the empty hours. 2 years ago, my company eased me into retirement. I smiled at the luncheon, took the plaque, drove home, and felt useless. Without work, I didn't know where to put my hunger. That's how I ended up at a storage unit on a sunny Wednesday. Carol and I had rented it years ago when we cleared out our parents' belongings. I kept paying for it out of habit. My daughter finally pushed me to empty it. The unit smelled like cardboard and old cloth. Dust floated in the light. I moved boxes until I found a small metal toolbox I hadn't seen since I was a kid. My father's. Inside was a folded envelope with my name on it, his handwriting. It said, "For Harold, if I don't get the chance." I sat down on the concrete floor. The envelope held 3 letters, dated the year I left for college. I had never seen them. I don't know why. I only know they waited for me longer than my father did. I read the first letter slowly. My dad wrote about his own father, a hard man who drank and disappeared. He wrote that he promised himself he'd be different, and then admitted he didn't know how. He said he loved us, but he didn't know how to show it without money or work. In the second letter, he apologized for that line about smiling and shoes. He said he saw it land on me like a stone. He wrote, "I wanted you to have more than I did, but I don't want you to lose yourself trying to get it." I read that sentence again and again. The last letter was short. He said he was proud of me, not for what I'd become, but for how hard I tried. Then he wrote one line that wrecked me. "Let your kids see your heart. They need that more than they need a bigger house." Outside, somebody's mower buzzed. A car door slammed. The world kept going. And I started crying. Loud and ugly, the kind that comes from a place you thought was sealed shut. I cried for my father, because he lived and died tired. I cried for Carol, because I gave my best attention to work. I cried for my kids, because I taught them love looks like effort, not presence. Then I said out loud, "I get it." That was it. No speech, just those words. And in that moment, I forgave my father. Quietly. Like you forgive a man who did what he knew and still came up short. But the next part was harder. If I could forgive him, I had to look at myself. I wasn't just a kid shaped by his silence. I made choices. I used work like a shield. I called it responsibility, but it was also fear. Right there in that storage unit, I called my son. He answered with that cautious voice he's had since he was a teenager. I said, "It's Dad. I found something of Grandpa's." My throat was tight. He paused, then asked, "You okay?" I told him about the letters. Then I said, "I'm sorry I wasn't around the way you needed. I thought I was building a life for you. I didn't see you needed me more than the life." My son breathed for a moment. He said, "Yeah, I did." Then he said, "I'm glad you're telling me now." It wasn't a clean fix, but it was honest. And I could live with honest. That night I went home and didn't turn the TV on for noise. I made tea. I sat in Carol's chair. I let the quiet stay quiet. I held those letters like they were fragile, because they were. These days, I still like a clean house and a paid bill. I still feel that old pull to prove something. But I'm not running the same way. I go to my granddaughter's concerts and clap too loud. I take my daughter to lunch and leave my phone in the car. I ask my son real questions and wait through the silence until he answers. If you're hearing me, maybe you've got your own rock in your pocket. Something you carry from your parents or from a younger you. I can't fix it for you. I can only tell you what I learned on that concrete floor. The things you chase can turn into the thing that keeps you from the people you say you love. So if there's a letter you never opened, open it. If there's a call you keep putting off, make it. If there's somebody in your house who's gone quiet, sit down near them and stay there a while. I'm 81. I don't get to start over, but I do get today. And today, I'm trying to be a man who shows up, even if it's late.